Alright my fellow agents, welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and as of this morning we currently have a triple XP event going on in the game, which means it is easily one of the best times to level up your character incredibly fast. Now when it comes to farming XP, you have a few different options that are incredibly efficient, and we all know with the launch of the DLC and the new season beginning, we have a lot of players out there who are either brand new to the franchise and you're just getting your boots on the ground, or you happen to be returning to this game having stepped away for a while, and because of that I wanted to take a few moments this morning and highlight 3 of my favorite ways to farm for XP in the game. Now keep in mind as I say that, you may have other ways you like to farm. If you do, please leave those in the comment section. But for me, I like to highlight things that I do, so that's exactly what I'm bringing you today. Now as always, we're going to jump right into the details, and if you happen to enjoy this, do me a favor and hit that like button. It truly helps the channel out, and if you want to stay up to speed on all things Division, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button as well. Now, the first method I'm showing you on screen is hitting up public executions. Now these are located all across the map, and the reason we have chosen this open world activity is because you can clear most of these in less than a minute, and you're getting a ton of XP for your time. Now, one thing I strongly recommend for players out there who happen to be on the fence between challenging and heroic difficulty is drop the difficulty down to challenging, add some directives, and you are going to absolutely rip through these incredibly fast. Because in my opinion, the most important thing when it comes to farming XP is to be incredibly efficient with your time, because your goal is to rinse and repeat an activity over and over to really stack that XP quickly. And at the end of the video, I will show you a breakdown or a comparison of what I'm referring to when I make that statement. Now as you can see on screen, the public execution that I target is located right here on the map, and the reason I've chosen this one is because it is close to a fast travel location. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the public execution. Once I do, I open up my map, I reset my control points, and at that point, after a 10-second countdown, I am then brought to the nearest safe house, and ideally when I reopen up my map, you're going to see that public execution located in the exact same area, and I'm going to then farm it as many times in a row as I like. Now one important detail I need to mention as we move on is that when you reset your control points, there are some times where that public execution could turn into a territory control. If that's the case, you could reset your map again. And it's also important to know that sometimes it will not reset in the same spot, right? You may have to look at different areas of the map and find one, but you want to find one next to a fast travel location, as that is going to greatly cut down the amount of time it takes you to rinse and repeat this method. Now if you have any other questions in regard to this, please let me know. And with that being said, it now takes us to another farming method that's very popular when this event is going on, and that is playing Conflict or hitting up landmarks in the Dark Zone. Now I know for a lot of people out there, PvP is not your thing, but again, if we're talking about just that XP farm, it can also be incredibly efficient, and I want to make sure I share as much information with you as I possibly can. Now for me, I do not play Conflict, it's not my thing, but if I only have like 20 minutes to jump into the game, there are times if I do get burnt out by hitting up a public execution non-stop, I will go into the Dark Zone, clear these landmarks, because you can clear them in a matter of a minute or two and you get a ton of XP for your time. Now the last farming method I'll be showing you today happens to be my favorite one in the game, and that's just farming control points. You know, I set the world difficulty to heroic, you face 2 named bosses, and when you get the timing down of different ones that are again located all across the map, you can get through them incredibly fast, and not only that, you're getting a ton of XP and you're also getting a ton of loot. So for me, it's the best of both worlds. Hope this video helped you out, my friends, and as always, questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know. With all that being said, I'm going to start to wrap this up, and as promised, leave you with some gameplay footage and commentary. Please let me know of any other questions you have I did not address. Thank you once again for the privilege of your time, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone. Hello once again, my fellow agents. I hope everyone is having a good day so far. This is the time to farm in the game. I cannot stress that enough. You know, I know for a lot of players out there, you're new, you're just returning, and you want to get to Shade level 1000. When we have these XP events, it's the perfect time to level up incredibly fast, so please make sure you take this opportunity. Now there happen to be a few more important details I'd like to mention really quick. First of all, you are going to get triple XP no matter what you're doing in the game, but that only applies to regular XP, not season XP. I want to make that very clear. And for those of you out there who are going to play with directives on, the Ragers directive right now is totally bugged. It will not work, so do not waste your time turning that one on. Now at this point, as I did promise at the very beginning, I want to take a moment and talk about time management, because like a lot of you out there, I work full time, so I do not get a lot of time to play during the day, if any, you know? I mean, I wish I did. Trust me, I wish this was my full-time job, fellow agents. That'd be pretty badass. Now to give you a quick example of the amount of XP you can earn in a certain amount of time, I'm going to use Lincoln Memorial as an example because I can get through that mission give or take in about 10 minutes, and that's with 3 directives on Heroic. And as you can see, that's going to net me over 640,000 XP. And because of the triple XP event, we're going to round that up to 1.9 million. So again, in about 10 minutes of gameplay, that is going to equate to 1.9 million XP, and it's actually higher than that when you take into account the XP you get for taking out NPCs. But as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to the public executions, mathematically, you can get much more XP in that same 10 minutes. So for instance, right now, Heroic, 3 directives, I'm going to get 400,000 XP. Again, triple XP event, that equates to 1.2 million in about a minute of gameplay. Which means if I compare the XP I earn in 10 minutes on a mission versus the XP I earn in 10 minutes doing these public executions, I will get that 1.9 million for completing the mission, but I know in 10 minutes I can do at least 4 public executions, which equates to 4.8 million. You do the math, my fellow agents, it is much more efficient. Now, the last thing I want to mention, and this is one of the most important things about this game, is that you can easily get burnt out in this game when you play the same damn thing over and over. So always remember, sometimes you just want to say efficiency and just have fun, right? So don't forget about that. That's all I got for this video, my fellow agents. Once again, I want to thank you for everything, and I will see you in the next one.